get that off the table and over there somewhere. That's what I get for letting people borrow my knife. All right. Yeah, I'm not surprised that a burr showed up that quick. Next, we'll move up a grit to the last grit. It really didn't need all that much. You know. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. J-Dog, what's up? Yeah, it's good to see some people talking in here. Fortunately, that's slowed down lately, but not much I can do about that. I did want to inform everybody who might be interested. One of my Para 2s is up for sale right now. So the spray that I use started out as lens cleaner. And so it's a bottle of lens cleaner from my local eye care place. And once it was empty, I started mixing, let's see, I filled the entire bottom of it, just enough to cover the whole bottom, with 70% isopropyl alcohol. I put 8 drops of mineral oil for to lubricate the head, because when you put the 1 drop of Dawn dish soap in here, it removes every little bit of lubrication that this thing has, and then fill up the rest with water. So far it's worked out great, so you know, that's honestly what I'm going to recommend. You could probably skip the alcohol, to be honest, but I don't. So yeah, my Para 2 is sitting up for $160 right now, plus shipping. And for anyone in the US who'd rather buy direct from me, I will drop the price. So it would end up being, let's see, if you buy it off of Blade Binge from me, it is 160 plus shipping, which will roughly equate out to 170. Brand new, they're 213, so it's a pretty decent deal. However, if you buy direct from me, let me get a calculator out and figure out how much I can take off. Oh, whoops. 160 minus. I could do 150 plus shipping, which would be roughly 156. Roughly. Anywhere in the US. S45 with DLC coating. Got a little bit of wear on the pocket clip, but when you're getting like $60 off, it's not a bad deal. And it sucks because that's one of those ones where I have to check often if it's still up for sale or if it's sold already. Because at that price, it's going to be in pretty high demand. So on the bright side, it hasn't sold yet. Oh, definitely, yeah. Unfortunately, only 4 people have seen it. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. It's a good knife. Somebody will find it like, dang, that's a good price. And then it'll be gone in like a week. It's a great knife. I just already have one, so I don't need a second one. Is there any chance that you're looking for a knife, or... Actually, I did a sale on a live stream the other day. I think I've done 3 sales live. I make deals on live streams. Just nice, gentle passes now. So at this point, I'm using about the weight of the knife, and that's it, to get rid of the burr. I hold things for people all the time, actually. It all depends on what you want. I've got a box, half of a box full of shit that I need to put up for sale. So if you'd like to check that out, I'd be more than happy to show you. Fair enough. Let me see what I have from Spyderco that I'm willing to get rid of. Because I've got a bunch of Spydercos, but a couple of them are already called for. Actually, most of them are already called for. And I don't think that you want one that's this small. So it's not a Spyderco, but it's made in the same factory. I'm not sure you'd be interested in it. Randall, what's up? How's it going? So yeah, Spyderco owns the Bird brand, and they make these. This is the budget version. This is the budget version of the Delica. Yeah, I didn't plan on selling this thing, and frankly, you're the first person that I've offered it to. Thing's sharp as shit, too. I could probably get it sharper, but I think that's good. Things are going just fine. Nice and smooth. The night is going just fine. I think I'm probably going to end the stream sooner than usual, but I've only been streaming for 15 minutes, so we don't have anything to worry about at the moment. I was just about to finish stropping this. And actually, Randall's one of the ones, I think I'm holding a Tenacious for Randall. So, now if you want to wait a little bit, J-Dog, like a few weeks, I'll see what Spydercos I can come up with. It all depends on who gets their knife confiscated by TSA. Which sounds horrible, but oh yeah, dude, that patina beautiful. And I wish it showed on camera, but the reds and the blues are immaculate. So the Para 2 is up for sale publicly. And as much as I'd like to remove that and hold it for you, I'm not sure I can do that. But I can pull it up real quick. Yeah, this Spyderco was confiscated by somebody in Arizona. So was this Para 3. And this little native. And this ambitious. And this tenacious. And this military. All of these were confiscated by somebody, or these were all confiscated from people in an Arizona airport. I think Para 3 is 3 inches. This one isn't up for sale publicly yet. I think it's like 4. That blade's huge. Yeah, that's like 4 inches. I think the military is the only one I'm going to keep. And the only reason I'm keeping it is because I don't feel good selling it due to the condition. All the other ones are fine, so, but the one that's trashed, I'm going to be keeping it. At least I have something I can abuse when I feel like it. It is huge. It really is. What is up? Not a whole lot. I still need to finish sharpening my case. But yeah, all 5 of these plus the military were confiscated by TSA in Arizona. Most of them were trashed. The blades, or the edges, were in terrible condition. And I sharpened all the ones that needed sharpened. And they all cut nice and clean now. This one, when I started, you had to saw through paper. This one's so small, it's so hard to flick it. Let me check the blade length on this one real quick. It is a hair under 3 inches. I tried the Spidey Flick. So the thing about that one, I need to get into the Zircotai stuff. It's just so expensive. So the hole on this one is smaller than the hole on all the others by quite a bit. I can't fit my fingernail in there. Under 100. Any Spyderco's under 100, I'm assuming, is what you're talking about. Let me go check my other box real quick and see what's in there. But I'm not sure I have any Spyderco's I'm willing to part with that are under 100 that aren't already called for. And I can understand wanting to keep a budget under 100. I completely agree. but it's on hold for you. The whole point was to put it on hold so that you could get it later. So I think I'm going to keep that on yours unless you don't want it. I still haven't finished sharpening the case. Me and my lazy ass. Forgetful ass, not lazy. But like I said, if you give me a couple weeks, I'll see what I can come up with. Oh no, he's got the tenacious on hold. But it's half serrated. Not everybody's interested in that. The Para 2 isn't on hold for anybody, but it's up for sale publicly at this point, so. But yeah, give me a couple weeks. I'll see what Spyderco's come up for auction, and I'll see what kind of deal I can make. It really depends on condition and how much I buy them for. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, all that money that I've got that I was going to put towards buying a Sebenza for myself, I've started putting into Spyderco auctions. Now, I'll be real with you, there is one auction that I was looking at the other day, and it's full of Spydercos, but they're all half serrated, and nobody wants that. Randall is one of the few people that enjoys half serrated knives, so I think I took the burr off of this. So I did. So I did want to show you guys my new sharpening system that I'll be testing out, but I need to make a video on it first, right? But this stuff's going to be weird. So here's a piece of glass. Right? Sharpo has sent me diamond lapping films to test out on the channel. Because I've noticed, I went doing some digging, and I noticed that nobody has ever made videos on their products yet. So I think we've got a 320, a 1200, or no, a 320, a 500, an 18, and a 3000. I'm pretty sure that that's what they sent out. And they sent 3 of each. So this set cost 70, I think. And should... Oh, I hear metal. Come with... Ah, yes. Guys, you guys have no clue how long I've waited to get something to hold my stones. Oh, this took forever. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't reach out to a bunch of companies to get one, but yeah, I finally have something to hold stones. Gotta back it out a little further. There we go. Ugh. If I screwed it down better, I'm sure that would have worked, but... much better. So yeah, I'm not going to open all the stuff that comes with it, specifically this little bag. Now this is a sealed bag that has the films in it. And the reason I'm not going to open that is because I'm going to do that on the video. And they want me to make a video teaching people how to use lapping films to sharpen knives. You know what's funny is I was talking about him the other day, and I don't really like the dude personally, and it's just the way that he talks. It's the same thing that I don't like about Jared, or Neve's Knives, is he's got that know-it-all attitude that I find annoying in person. So, I don't know how he is in person. I don't know how Jared is in person either. But in the videos, watching those videos just annoys me, so I don't watch them. But yeah, this should be quite the nice addition to the sharpening setup. Well, if you like his content, I'm not going to tell you not to watch him, you know? How's it going, Groundfog? But yeah, they sent... This is light. This is so light. I didn't realize that glass weighed this little. I should probably stop touching it because I'm leaving fingerprints all over this thing, but I'll wipe it off before I stick them on there. This is so much lighter than the aluminum-based stuff. So much lighter. It feels weird holding it. Because I don't mess with glass very often. But yeah, you pick this up and you expect it to weigh like double, and it just doesn't. Yeah, I can't wait to try these things out. It won't be tonight, but I need... over the weekend I'll make a video on these. And then we'll test them out in a stream. Now this, on the other hand, I think I'm going to leave this out. Because we might just end up using it tonight. The whole reason that this is up here with the SATC underneath was because I didn't have one of these. So this is a big deal to me. Probably sounds kind of stupid, but I didn't want to dump the money into buying one of these. Now my only question is, how am I supposed to make up close content? Because I don't have a macro lens, I don't have any of that high dollar stuff. You know, I forgot to show off the stuff that I have up for sale. Or that I'm going to be putting up for sale at some point. Yes, I'm off cam shaving my arm again. Of course I am. I just finished stropping this thing. You think I'm not going to test it? Let's be real. That thing's sharp as shit. I handed it to my mom for dinner because the restaurant we went to didn't have knives. And I have full length pants on. Thank you very much. I need to talk to a local knife maker and ask if they can help me out with this. So this knife has the issue of blade play. And it's enough for you to really notice it. Now, not really during use, it's not going to be a huge deal, but it's enough for it to bother me. So I gotta ask him how we can fix that, if possible. Because I tried using a vise to press everything together and it just wasn't doing it. Somebody was interested in buying this thing and then they kind of backed out on the deal, so this thing will be going up for sale here pretty soon. You mean pin in the handle? Look at my old scratch pattern. Yeah, that didn't do too well. I completely reprofiled this from a Tonto to what it is now. It almost looks like I took a carbide V to it, but I didn't. Well, fine, I'll fix it. Gotta be mean every single time. Look at me, I'm Aiden, and I'm gonna be mean about your sharpening. Of course, everything gets resharpened before I ship it out. Typically, I'd charge extra for that, but with how fucked up some of these things are, they need it. Hmm. Yes, bullying works. That's why kids weren't stupid when I was a kid. You did something stupid, everybody made fun of you for it. Then you didn't do it again. Nowadays, you can't make fun of people. Huh, I wonder how that's going to work out. I think I'm going to try the straight on, because usually what I do is I have it tilted slightly. Yeah, reliving the stuff that you did. Yep, so this one's called the Contender. And I got this one in another TSA lot. And I don't remember who it was that said that they wanted it. And and it's been well over a month since they said they wanted it. So I'm going to say it's no longer on hold. Cheap. Cheap, cheap. Like brand new, they're like $22. I'm trying to get something pretty close to that because of the amount of work I put into it, but I doubt it'll go for it. Then again, every other one, the reason why I'm bringing that up, every other one, fuck that. You can buy it as it is before I put a Tonto back on this thing. You'd have to offer me some astronomical money and pay me beforehand before I put a Tonto back on this thing. And even then, I'd probably just go buy another one and then give you that one. let's be honest here. I'm smart, okay? And I'm not going to waste hours resharpening something in a way that I don't enjoy resharpening. Don't get me wrong. What I'm going to do, if I did that, is I would still resharpen it. It'll still come with my edge, but it's not going to be this one. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't even remember what blade shape this would be. I'd call it a trailing point because the point is up behind the spine, or where the base of the spine begins. No, it normally is a Tonto. I'll show you guys pictures of it. No, I rounded it out completely. That's what it was like before. And I took a shit ton of material off this thing with the 140. Right there. Round. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed the angles, but I took about this much material off of this thing. I took a shit ton of material off of it. My favorite knife of all time. I don't know, it changes. I stopped forcing myself to pick one because, so people ask what my favorite knife is quite often, and it changes so often that there's no point in me even giving an answer. And for anybody that's just popping in, I de-tontoed this on purpose. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a bad habit. It was me doing it because I don't like tontos. And the person that I was planning on selling it to didn't want tonto, or didn't want it as a tonto either. So let's see. Yeah, I took the two edges and made them one. So it doesn't have a transition point right here where it should, because I thought that was stupid. a couple more passes on the other side and then to the strop. Back when I sharpened this, I didn't have any of the fancy strop stuff either. There we go. Let me wipe it off real quick. It's a lot cleaner than it was. A lot cleaner. Scrawny lumberjack knife. I don't know what you're talking about. I heard that new Spyderco mule dropped for like 75 bucks. Did you ever think about getting those things, or? Oh, we'll see. If you started off by telling me you sent me something on Instagram, maybe I'd check. Like, I'm live streaming, man. Let me finish this and then I'll take a look. Before test is up here. That is a lot better than it was. I'm telling you, man. Practice. A shit ton of practice. So much practice that it gets old. Then you practice more. Yeah, I don't see anything that you sent me. So Crytex, what's up? How's it going? I am doing just fine. think one of these days I'm going to try doing a sale marathon or something. All my tips are things that you're going to learn from somebody else. My biggest tip is going over to Outdoors 55 on YouTube and watching a shit ton of his videos. That's how I recommend starting. Yep. I'd love to keep you here longer, but the only tip I can give you if you're still here, probably not, but okay. So my best tip from me is, I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to drop the camera. And try and hold it at an angle to where you guys can see what I'm getting at when I say this. When you hold an angle, you guys can see that black line under the knife up there. When you start sharpening, you're going to want to lift that up until that black line from the shadow goes away. Short people POV. That was a good comment. I like that one. Now, once the shadow goes away is when you can start moving. And watch the edge all the way down to make sure that you don't have a shadow. Now, it's not going to show up great, but that is my my best piece of advice for new sharpeners is if you're missing exactly, it makes sure that you're sharpening not only the full length, but the entire bevel up towards the edge. Because if you're missing the very, very edge, then you're not going to make it any sharper. That's probably the best comment I've seen in a while. My phone's charging, right? Okay, cool. Then we can continue. All right, what'd you send me? Yeah, I'm not messing with Z12 Ultra because money. I'm about to get a copyright strike if that keeps playing. The G Blizzard, what's up? How's it going? It's not a bad looking knife though, but look at that. That thing's sick. Looks comfortable too. Yeah, the handle looks comfortable. Really comfortable. And how much did he put a price on it, or is it already sold? So I've had people ask that a few times, and what I should probably do is write down what it is. And as it evolves over time, if I add anything extra. So it's mostly water, which water's good enough, right? Anyway, it's basically water with 1 drop. It's almost 2 full ounces of water, 1 drop of Dawn dish soap, and 8 drops of mineral oil. Now, the mineral oil I added because those spray bottles, when you put Dawn dish soap in them, don't work very well. So you add the oil for lubrication. Supposedly, it'll also help prevent rust when sharpening, which is weird to me, but I'm not going to question what other people say on that because it makes sense. Now, I add a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to it. It evaporates a little quicker. So I started off using only alcohol, and then it evaporated too quick. Then I moved forward to other things. But the main thing is I want this to dry quickly, and adding a little bit of alcohol helps with that. Lucas, what's up? Yeah, I've just never heard of people. Well, I have heard of people putting oil on their stones, but hmm. If he made fixed blades, I might think about it. Or not fixed blades. If he made folders, I might think about it. But it's a lot of money to drop on a custom when I could just not buy a custom. Well, I didn't sharpen worth shit on those passes. That's what you get when you hold the wrong angle. Things don't go nice and smooth. My most expensive knife right now is that one Kershaw that I've got. I'll pull it out here in a sec, but I want to finish on this stone first. It shouldn't take too long, a couple more passes. Much better. Sure, but I don't like fixed blades. Titanium frame lock in 2007 from Kershaw. Yeah, and that's why I don't go custom most of the time. Well, I haven't gone custom yet, but that would be the thing that puts me off. I've probably shown it to you before. You've been in here before, so it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I start with I typically start on a 140, and then I move up unless I've already sharpened that knife, then I start on like a 600. But when I'm reprofiling, I start every time that I sharpen a knife for the first time, I reprofile it. Which it sounds like you're wasting material, and I probably am, but that's just the way that I do things. I end up with a great edge every single time, so time to finally take off the little rubber feet from this thing. A little bit of rust on this thing. I'm actually really enjoying the stone holder. I didn't think that it would make that big of a difference. You wanted a reblade in Rex 121. You have fun with that. Okay. Let's move my other plate. So if you want a good, reasonably priced sharpening or starting stone, my recommendation would be the one that I'm going to be working on right now. Because that's the one that Outdoors 55 recommends, and it's done great for me. So reliably use knives like what? I don't know what you mean by that. Because the ones that I'm messing with lock. Other than the yellow one. Okay, so this one doesn't lock. And all I use it for is food. I don't use it for anything else. I cut a little bit of paper with it. I don't use it for cutting down boxes. I don't use it for anything other than food and showing off how sharp it is, because this thing is fucking sharp. And that's how my non-locking knives tend to be used, is for food. That is just so much money. I'll be talking to Alchemy Blade Works. He's a nice guy. I'm curious. I asked him, or I told him he's coming up with a folder here pretty soon. I said, if you ever want anybody to do testing, just tell me and I'll gladly take you up on that offer. Because I'm not into fixed blades, and he makes some pretty good looking fixed blades. And quite a decent variety of steels, too. Yep, we'll see you later. You have a good one, Crytex. I got banned from somebody's live stream for saying that. Aiden, where can you find... Oh, no, this one. This one you can find on Amazon. I thought I was still working on the Atomas for some reason. So this one's on Amazon. It's called, if you look up SATC 400/1000, and it should show up. It's about $22. He asked where to get those stones, and I thought I was working on the Atomas still. Turns out I wasn't, so... Hi. Thanks for popping back in. I know for a fact at least one person went straight over to Amazon and bought one of these, or one of those things. Oh, the Atomas are around 40? That's a pretty good deal. An extra blade? I think he meant an extra plate. Oh, my knees. Oh, god damn, I'm getting old. I say as I turn 24 next year. Well, at least I got a solid view of what I was talking about earlier, so I'll be able to record the shots that I was talking about that I was having I was having issues with how I was going to record. By the way, that little bit of chromium that's in this Maximate, I can't get this thing out of my pocket, by the way. This thing's been in my pocket for the last couple weeks, pretty much since I got it. And it doesn't leave my pocket. I tried swapping it out, and I swapped it out for a QSP Parrot, and I was just disappointed the whole time I carried it. So we have an issue now. That issue being I don't want to carry anything else anymore. And I promise you the same thing's going to happen when I get that small Sebenza too. Nothing's going to compare to him. And then when I get the titanium scales for this one, it's going to be hard to argue, dude. There's not going to be a whole lot else that I want. Okay. Forgot to clean off the chiefer cut last night. God, this stuff gets used up quick when you're trying to soak a stone. Well, you can tell that the table I'm using ain't level. You know, if I'm going to soak this thing, I should really soak it in water. And not pre-soak like I am now. I'll be right back. I'm going to soak this. Welcome back. we're gonna sharpen the Maximate again, because I tried doing the DMT on it and it didn't like that finish. You're back too, welcome back. I'll tell you what, when you don't gouge the blade into the stone, that stone works great. And I haven't had any gouges since that, so honestly, I think I removed more material than I had to. And I got that stuff that you sent, Aiden, by the way. It's over in the other room. So I'm assuming this stuff I'm supposed to only use the lowest grit of this. Oh yeah, you definitely don't want to breathe that. So I'm assuming this is the stuff that I'm supposed to use. $60 grit. Damn. Let's see what all this thing comes with. $500 grit. Well, one of these is literally just rocks, so I'm gonna assume this isn't the stuff that I use. $220. I'm not sure I'll ever do a custom stone wash. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, for when I start doing customs, it wouldn't hurt. So what grit am I supposed to use for this? Because I don't think I'm supposed to use 60. But they've got a 220 that would make sense. And then there's the other question of, is this stuff reusable? Or is it like a one-time use thing? I mean, that seems like a waste, don't you think? I think I'm going to try reusing it at least once and see what happens. I'll admit, I'm not looking for something that absolutely eats steel. Well, I only have the one at the moment, so there's a burr. Yeah, the Shapton, you're not wrong. So then there's the question of, I have a 1000 grit diamond plate. Should I skip the 1000 grit Shapton and move straight to the 2000? because by everybody's account, it seems like you really don't want to skip the 2000 when you're moving up. They all recommend using the 2000 and then the 5000. So just go straight for the 2000 on this one, because I've already got a 1K. Alright, couple more passes for burr removal and then we'll be done. One more. Okay. That looks good to me. Ooh. Almost dropped it. That would have sucked. Would have been really, really loud. Okay, wipe it off first. That one, so this is a DMT. The other one was a Chiefer Cut 400. And on top right here is just a leather strop. So it's a DMT diamond plate. You don't need to use water with it. So Aiden, why do you want that American lawman so bad? Just out of curiosity. Oh, well, you see, KO, it's the first time you ever got a hair whittling edge. And now I have a piece of history from your channel. And then when you blow up and have 100,000 subscribers, then I can say I'm the first one that got blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yep, you're never getting a high grit edge ever again. That was abuse. Never had their Aus 8. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, putting a high grit edge on this thing, that's abuse right there. I'll just stick with the one stone and never put anything higher than that. You know, I'll bet you this stuff would work pretty well as a blade cleaning solution. I just need to empty one of these and make a mixture of that stuff, of this, that'll fit in there. Do you not own anything in Aus 8 anymore? Yep, you have a good one, Blizzard. I'm the first second generation Blizzard employee. If you get that reference, please tell me. Yeah, that's about as sharp as this thing's gonna get. Nice clean shave. Actually, really, really clean shave, by the way. Right here. But KO, how do you know it was clean? Well, when you're finished shaving without any sort of lubrication, just dry shaving, typically there's some sort of skin irritation. And sure, you may not notice it heavily, but it is there a lot of the time. And that one didn't do it. There was no skin irritation. It just did it in clean shave with the grain and against the grain. So, hell yeah, we're getting better at this. Yeah. And a lot of my other knives, they cause razor burn, but it's never really bad. It's just kind of, oh, that's going to irritate, or that's going to be irritated for about 20 minutes, and then it's all gone. I don't know, I used to shave without water, so it didn't really do anything. It was faster than putting on shaving cream, and it took a lot less time. So, you know what's funny is I wasn't this close, but I was getting pretty close to just buying one of them. There are two knives that I want in 15V. God damn, my fingers look fat. Holy shit. Fuck, man. Camera over here making me look huge. Jesus Christ. What in the hell, man? Like on camera, you can't even tell where my hand begins and where my arm ends. Now you listen here, I'm 6 foot tall and 255 pounds. You can shut up. Meanie. Huge. So Aiden, about that glassy edge thing. 5'2". Damn. I'm a whole 10 inches taller than you. I don't know very many people that are that short. Anyway, Aiden, when S30V gets glassy, or was that S35? That might have been S35. Damn it, I wanted to test that. I don't have a whole lot of stuff in S35. I'd say I should get more, but I really don't care for S35, so I don't know. I'm trying to sell almost everything that I have in S35 anyway. Being that I only have like 2 or 3 knives in S35 and I'm selling one of them. Q-tip. My sister's like 3 inches shorter than me, so yes, my sister's taller than you. Almost everybody that I know is taller than you. I think I've met like 2 people that are shorter as an adult that are shorter than 5 feet. God, this is a clean knife. Can't believe I sold it for as much as I did. You're not the... If you've been here before and asked that question, you're not the only person that asked that question. I can check and see if you've been in here before, actually. So give me just a sec. Go over to YouTube on my second phone. Then I'll click on your name. On the live stream. Okay, let's see. Have you been in here before? Okay, so I have a shit ton of leaks. You're right on that, but you've never asked that question before. This is everything that you've said in my live streams. You've said two things, and that's it. So, now let's see. A good knife for under $1,000. You have a ton of options. What are you looking for? What do you plan on doing with it? And you're good. Nothing to be upset about. So, what do you plan on doing with it? And we can come up with a few options for you. Now, I was just more curious. You're not interrupting anything. I had nothing better to do. Genuinely, I just finished sharpening something, and then I've just been sitting here playing around with a knife that I already sold. So, well, sold. Well, let's get some good stuff on the camera. Oh, Protec Malibu. Good choice. I don't really like button locks for one reason or another, but they're just not my kind of thing personally. But I do know that the Malibu is a solid knife. You've got about 5 minutes since when? 5 minutes for what? Now you got me curious. I swear if the tip of this thing isn't sharp. Yeah, that's what I thought. It better have been. So the Protec Malibu is one of their only, it's a flipper knife. And they're really nice. They're just pretty expensive. And you got a Spyderco or... Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Let's show everybody what a Protec Malibu is. Protec Malibu. Let's show you guys one of the ones that I might like. Is that pink? No. Damn. Dude, if they had some... Ooh. Okay. I'm not going to be mad about that. Hell yeah. With a mother of pearl inlay. Magna cut. Flipper. That is a clean knife. And they're made in California, so it's one of the few knives that has an American flag on it, or an American flag design that is actually made in America. Because most of those you'll see they're made in China, and it just doesn't feel right. to me to buy a knife that has an American flag design on it that isn't made in America. It feels wrong. It looks like a QSP. I'm sure if QSP made $300 knives, they probably do, then it would be somewhat similar, but ProTech is known for making autos. Let's look up QSP. I want to see what their most expensive knives are on Blade HQ. High to low. You're good. Damn, they make some pretty expensive shit that I didn't know about. QSP Rhino. That thing is expensive. The Capybara. That actually looks pretty cool. That's clean. The carbon fiber inlay around the pivot screw. Overall, that's just a clean looking knife. I still wouldn't buy it because $362, but it doesn't look bad. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're still looking for a knife, I've got a couple options that are up for sale at the moment. Of course, again, if you're in the US, but yeah. Definitely colorful, yeah. Ooh, that doesn't look terrible. It's a slip joint, though. That's not a bad looking color scheme. Red, white, and blue, and black. The only downside, ooh. Mm. Yeah, the only downside is it's a slip joint. And the reason I call that a downside is because I don't want to spend that much on a slip joint. Specifically in that handle shape. It's just not my kind of thing. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're still looking for a knife, as long as neither of these have sold yet, I'd love to help you out with that, Commander. Genuinely, I would. I don't think Customs is going to agree with letting you Yeah, but you could have more on the way. Oh well, at least I get to show off some stuff. Now let's see, what was that one? Porcupine. Oh no, I was talking to you, Jason. QSP. Oh, that doesn't look bad. Yeah, unfortunately, Commander is over in the Asian countries, and that's too far for shipping for any reasonable price. Yeah, I wouldn't sell my penguin. It's one of the few knives that I don't think I'd ever get rid of. That's a lie. I probably would, but did you mean the hedgehog? The QSP hedgehog? Definitely sad. You mean a penguin glide lock? Genuinely curious because I'm not trying to be overly corrective, but I want to make sure I'm looking up the right thing. Penguin. QSP. It happens. Yep, I impulse buy stuff all the time. Is this the one that you're talking about that you got? I kind of want one of these, but they are a little pricey for what I plan on buying. They look great though. It's 50. Just a bit more than I want to be spending. Not a big deal. Sorry, I'm trying to look something up. One of the knives that I want, there aren't very many of them left. And I kind of want to make sure that I can get one. Okay, there's still 5 left. So that's good. So let's see, 229. And if he does follow through with the code, would end up being $22.99 minus 25%. Whoa. 229, that's what I meant. 229 minus 25%. 171. So if I sold this, I could afford to buy that knife. I just dropped the price on it too. It is now 180. Or if you buy it directly from me, drop the price even more, as per usual. I just can't advertise that on the Blade Binge website. But yeah, if you buy direct from me, I'll drop the price. Get a whole bunch of knives on the table. Feel free to ask any questions that you guys have about any of the stuff on the table. Let's put that one away. Do I have anything else that I think should be on the table? I didn't even realize that was on screen the whole time. Just out of curiosity. Okay, good. Just want to make sure nobody sent me any money. You know what I should do when I hold knives for people? I should have them pay a deposit for me to hold it. That way they have some sort of monetary reason to actually buy it, instead of just saying, hey, I'll take that, and then I have to hold it for a month, and then they never show up again. I think I'm going to try doing deposits from now on. It's been 2 hours already. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream in about... What time is it? About 20 minutes. This thing really needs broken in. You clean something once and then it needs like 3 weeks of wear for it to actually start doing what you want it to do. Is this satin or is this blasted? That is a stone wash of some sort. I don't think I've ever held a satin Spyderco. Oh, this one's satin. So that one is stonewash. I thought for sure that thing was satin. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. And green. I don't have a green Spyderco. Well, not on the table anyway. If you meant this one, it's gray. But it's a para 3. It's the same as this one. These two are the same knife. Just a different blade steel. And I don't own a Manix 2. In a couple weeks I will. But I don't own one yet, so I can't give you my thoughts on it. I know for a fact the one thing that I don't like about them is the lightweight scales. Those scales are really aggressive, and with the pants that I wear, it just rips holes in them. You know, for as much cleaning as I did on this knife. What? My time ain't worth shit. Dude, I'm just another person. That's what I recommend you look at people as. Like, I may be on YouTube, and I may have 17 people watching, but I am just another person. And you shouldn't look at me as anything more than that. My opinion only matters because I've been in the hobby for almost 3 years. I wear cheap clothes because they're cheap, and I am just another person on the internet. But yeah, I really should have done a better job cleaning this thing. So T15 for the pivot, yep. Which is awesome. I'm glad that somebody started using larger size pivot screws. Oh, that's no fun. What? Yeah, you're not bothering me. One of the few people that's actually saying something, so. And you do what you gotta do. Don't let me hold you back from that. Give me half. Put you right there. Gimme half and put you right there. And gimme half. I'll move you in a minute. One, two, bam. I forgot that comes out. Looking good, looking good. Okay, so what I wanted to clean, the whole reason I took this thing apart, is because the jimping isn't clean. So we're gonna fix that real quick. Interesting. A lot of excess grease. You know, Spyderco, I just want to talk about why, just out of curiosity, of course, why are the liners blasted, sandblasted? Literally just out of curiosity, because I have no clue. Okay, yeah, I was gonna clean that. You bought another knife. What'd you buy? So this one was made in October of 2014. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, my dad's got one of those. One of the old time ones. Okay, real quick. This screw first. You next. Well, I would hope so. And then you. To the new person who just joined and said, period, how's it going? I don't know if they made them in 8CR. That was spicy right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are... Taking this knife apart was the first time I ever used a T15 bit. Let me look up what they came in. Let's see, an old timer sharp finger. Yeah. Yeah, because they're embarrassed to tell you what steel it is. Timer. So it looks like the two options that you have are 1095 or 7CR17. Which again, as long as you paid a decently low price, it's not a big deal. I just don't like 7CR because I'm a steel snob. So, pardon me for being that way, but okay. Not terrible. As long as it's something that you always wanted, which I can agree they do look pretty cool, then I'm not going to tell you that you got a bad deal. Here in a couple minutes, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. I'd love to keep going because we actually have a few people in here, but it's starting to get pretty late and I have things that I want to do tomorrow. Of course, I will be live streaming tomorrow, starting roughly about 11 Mountain Time. I trust the old trade. Back when stuff was made in the US. I've got a trapper from back when they still made things in New York. Before they sold out and went to China. They made good stuff back then. All right, now let's get me the age-old question right here. Do I want to put oil? That was way too much. Do I want to put oil or graphite? Well, now you got me wondering, how many sharp fingers have they made? Hmm. So the sharp finger came out 9 years after the Buck 110. The Buck 110, they just a couple of years ago, or last year, they sold 1 million total. So, back in the day, the sharp finger appeared in the catalog in 1973. It was a saw cut. It had saw cut handles, nickel silver, rivets, and shield. And it doesn't say how or what steel or anything. So originally they were made in 1095. In 1973 they made 9,500. The following year, 1974, they made 36,000. In 1965 they made 60,000. Or 1975 they made 60,000. 76 they made over 100,000. So there's well over 1 million of them out there. So nowadays they make them out of 7CR instead of 1095. Well, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a skinning knife. So, yep. Which honestly, I'm not going to say that they look the same, but the blade shape on the military and the paramilitary is pretty similar when you look past the hole. It's not unclear what you have if you do the right testing. And the testing that I'm thinking of depending on if you want to put a patina on it or not, just for testing, of course, is you grab a grape and you cut it in half, and then you don't clean the blade. If you don't wash the blade, then yeah. If it shows a patina, then you got 1095. If it doesn't, then you got 7CR. Yep, it would be 7CR if it is stainless. So it's basically just Chinese version of 440A. Nope. I don't think Schrade uses 8CR on any of their products, which is really disappointing. If you ask me, any budget knife, the bare minimum should be 8CR. Speaking of which, in my little book, it says so. That 8CR is... It doesn't say it's the bare minimum, but it says that it is the standard. Considered the standard in budget knives under $40. Known for being cheap and not particularly great at any of the main steel properties. So much so that people will turn down a cool design strictly because of the steel. Or you can move up to like D2. Better edge retention than 8CR13, but worse in almost every other way. Patent application was filed June 30th, 1927, and U.S. patent 1,695,916 was issued December 19th, 1928 to Firth Sterling Steel Company, known for large chunks of carbide in the steel's matrix causing microchipping on acute edges, 40 degrees total or less, working hardness between 55 and 62 HRC. And I think I've got 440A in here somewhere, which is 7CR. Or maybe I just completely skipped 440A and went straight for 440B. That would be what I did. Congratulations, me. Seven CR is 440A. But it's the Chinese equivalent to 440A. 440A is an American steel. Rex 121, highest edge retention steel. So high that if it was placed as 10 on the scale, it would skew the scale so far that only 11 steels would be rated above a 5 on the Knife Steel Nerds website at the time of writing. Well, no, there's a difference between 440A, 440B, and 440C, and those three differences are actually pretty big. 440C I wouldn't complain too much about. 440A I started complaining. It is also one of the most brittle steels, being a 1 on the scale. Designed to be used in high-speed and high-temp applications such as end mills and wear parts. Now let's talk... Oh, that sucks. Let's talk about the 440 series just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream right after that. But I do like teaching you guys some stuff. 440C, I used to talk shit about it until I looked at the properties of it, and it's actually a pretty solid steel. It just receives so much shit that I got on the bandwagon and figured this can't be a good steel. No, it's halfway decent. If you get it for like 40 or 50 bucks, there's nothing really to complain about. I mean, the steel's been around forever. So we'll look at 440A, 440B, 440C, and 440... What did you guys expect me to say? 440D? Nope, 440N. Bonk, what's up? Sure, but 420HC should be 440 or 420HC should be priced around 30 to 40 bucks. So the Buck Bantam is probably the best priced knife that that Buck makes. And the only thing that I have against the 110 is the price. And unfortunately, I know that it's priced well. It's just kind of high. The materials are reasonable, though. AJ wanted me to say hi to you. I don't know why. So let's see. 440C is equivalent to 9CR. High carbon stainless steel. Used to be premium steel, now mainly used in budget and mid-range knives. High carbon, high chromium. Overall, a pretty decent steel. Yeah, I have a pretty busy day tomorrow too, so I'm going to be ending the stream here pretty soon. Right after I finish schooling you guys on this stuff. 440B has... Wow. 440B is literally the same thing as 440C with less carbon. That's it. There's no difference other than that. And then 440A is the same as the other two with even less carbon. So I guess I really shouldn't be talking shit because Manisk, what's up? How's it going? So yeah, I can't talk too much shit about any of those steels, to be honest. And we'll see you later, Bonk. Have a good one. Yeah, I don't know how we have 21 likes. That never makes any sense to me. Let's pull some nicer stuff out. Appreciate it. Yep. Been taking my time building the community. It's a good time. Well, I don't like Tontos, and I don't like Benchmade, but let me take a look at the price and I'll tell you what I think. Because it all depends on the price. If the price is decent, then it's not going to be terrible. But if it's like every other Benchmade ever, then it's overpriced, and you should probably look towards other manufacturers for M4. Bailout. That's what we said, right? Yeah, M4. Price directly from Benchmade is... Come on, overpriced. Let's see it. Let's see it. One of these days, this website will load. Come on, come on. Overpriced, overpriced. Spyderco also makes stuff in M4. I mean, they're kind of really, really ugly, but they're comfortable. $300. No. That's disgusting. $300. It's $300 on Blade HQ too. Holy shit. Dude, that's disgusting. Let's look at some of the stuff from Spyderco and M4. 400. For a Benchmade bailout in M4. So Spyderco Tenacious, almost 150. 200. That thing's stupid though. Is that one actually an M4? It is. No shit. Carbon fiber scales. Liner lock. That's actually a more reasonable looking knife right there. For 222. Yeah, everything else is sold out, but yeah, honestly, the Gale Bradley 2 in M4, that's probably what my go-to would be. Okay, so it's a carbon fiber layer over G10. Let me look at how the heat treat's supposed to be real quick. Dude, rebuilding my faith in cold steel is going to take a while. So the Gale Bradley 2. Come on, give me an HRC. What, is nobody gonna tell me how hard they make it? 60. Well, the bailout's harder. Oh, wait, no. This one says 64 to 66. But that was the original Bradley. Yeah, 64 to 66 is freaking hard. Brando, you need to buy one and carry it. You gotta buy one of these things and at least carry it for like a month. I'd probably stick with like 17, 18 degrees when it comes to M4 at that hard. Come on, dude, you gotta try it at least once. Buy one from me and I'll send it to you. Change your mind? Buy one. I'll sell one to you. I'll tell you what, if I get one that is absolutely trashed, right? I will sharpen it up and I will buy it, or I will sell it to you for like really, really cheap. It won't be free, but it'll be cheap. So this dude says that the Gale Bradley 2 has a really aggressive hollow grind. God, every single time I do this. Heavily leaning on sending it back. Sorry, I'd have to get payment first. What knife would I use to fillet? Probably a fillet knife. I think Civivi just dropped a folding fillet knife. And it is weird. You guys got to see this thing. 14C28N. Yep. It is a whole ass folding fillet knife. So it's got a almost 6-inch blade. With 14C28N. Silver Stag, I have not. I'll try and think of one that I'm willing to get rid of for like 60, just in case. Yeah, if you want a full-size Praxis, I've got one. It's in pretty solid condition. And it's supposed to be in the box next to me, but it's not. God, I'm so special sometimes. I need to put my HK up for sale. It is a pretty cool looking knife. It's called the Shwaka. S-H-A, or Shaka. S-H-A-W-K-A. What's the full-size Praxis cost? Like 42 bucks? Look, you've got to give them a chance before you start talking shit about them. Give every knife at least a chance before you talk shit. Because I thought that these things were the ugliest things that I'd ever seen. And then I bought one. And I carried it. And I loved it. You paid $30 for the mini? Dude, I had them on sale for cheaper than that. God, you gotta talk to me first before you start buying shit. I swear to God. You're gonna have to change your own mind, bud. Falcon Even, I haven't tried any of their knives. But I do have a full-size Praxis that I'd be willing to get rid of. I bought it to sell it. So give me just a second, I'll go grab that. Does it need sharpened? Well, it's still got the factory edge that's in pretty good condition. It could be sharper, but it doesn't need to be sharper. A full size in 9CR18. How come I haven't swapped scales on what? How much? How much are they going for? Like $42.50? New? Real quick, somebody asked about the F1. First impression, what steel? There better be a base model F1. Holy shit, those are expensive. You are kidding me. LAMCOS. You say it's well worth it. That shit's $360. Fuck that. Praxis. 55, 70, 67. That's a mini Praxis. Come on, show me the one that I've got in my hand. That's a mini. There we go. Yep, $42.50. So, what do I consider an expensive knife? Anything over $200. Like, this is expensive. I mean, these are expensive too, but I don't know. So let's see. It doesn't come with the little pouch thing, and it doesn't come with the box, but it is basically brand new other than that. Actually, let me check the pocket clip. Yeah, basically brand new other than that. Yeah, I'll be honest. I plan on trying to work at Shields because we've got a new Shields in our city, and I don't think I'm gonna try and sell people stuff. I'm just gonna ask. I'm gonna try and do what I do here, where if you're already looking for something, if I have it, I'll try and sell it to you. But I'm not gonna try and push you to buy more than what you want to purchase. You know. So the Praxis is $42.50, -5 for the pouch in the box, and then -5 because we just hit 1,500, so $32.50 plus shipping totals out plus tax. No, plus tax. Yeah, I went to a knife show the other day. I live streamed the whole thing, 5.5 hours. Talked to a whole bunch of different knife makers in my local area. All right, so let's see. Calculator. 42.5 minus 10 plus what, 5 in shipping? So $37.50. I'll drop it down and make it a solid 37. Getting a brand new knife for $5 off of new price after shipping. What do you think of that? And of course, if you can't afford to do so, don't be pulling the trigger on it. I haven't put it up for sale anywhere, I don't think, so let me verify that. Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't need to pull the trigger on it if you're not 100% sure. And when you're buying a knife from me, I'd prefer that you can comfortably afford it. because I feel bad when people spend their last little bit of money on something from me. Same thing with the donations thing. I don't like the thought of people donating to me. Like I'm taking their money and I didn't do shit to earn it. That doesn't feel right. Let me see here. There was something I was going to say. Thank you. I don't remember what I was going to say. It was something, but I don't remember what it was. I'll put you on the list. It'll be held. You've got a month. Here pretty soon. I was just telling everybody here pretty soon to do holds on a knife. I'm going to need to start taking a deposit. It's a refundable deposit after 2 weeks, but that's it. What do you mean you don't know when it's coming? I gave you shipping, or I gave you tracking. Don't know when it's coming. Yeah, I noticed. Took you 2 days to figure out that it didn't ship yet. Fair enough. I don't really look at tracking on anything that I buy. Because it is nice to get that little surprise. So what's today? August 28th. And you wanted the full-size Praxis. I would hope that you have it before, or at least on the weekend. You're only a couple states over. It shouldn't take that long. So August 28th. You have until September 28th to pay for that. If you decide you don't want it by then that's good. Or that's all cool. Whatever. Oh. So, guys, I've got a genuine question for everybody in here. I went on eBay because I was bored. Okay. And I found, okay, if you want it, I found a Para 3 blade in VG10 that's an aftermarket thing with chamfered hole. And then I went on the same dude's account and found liners for a Para 3. And then I went on the same dude's account again and found hardware. And I already have a set of scales. So do you guys think that I should drop like $50 and make my own pair of 3? The only thing I'm missing is a set of washers. It'd be a cheap ass one. Again, total price after the scales. And I don't know how much a set of washers for that thing's gonna be. I'll have to figure that out. So do you guys think that I should drop money on that and build my own pair of 3 in VG10? Just let people know the abomination that I built. That's funny. I think I might do it. The blade's the most expensive part of the whole thing. But they sent me an offer to, like, you stick it in your saved list thing, and then they send you an offer for cheaper. So I did that, and then they sent me an offer for to sell it to me for $33.99. A set of hardware is going to be like 20. Why would I post a disclaimer? It's going to be my knife. I'm not selling it. That's going to be one that I just abuse the shit out of. I just think it would be funny. You know, I have this fully custom built pile from, like, none of it is real Spyderco other than these. These are genuine Spyderco scales. The rest of it, nothing's going to be real. I might do it. I'm heavily debating on it. It'd be entertaining. How about Spyderco Para 3 washers? How much do those cost? Oh. $10. Fuck you, man. $10 for a pair of 2 after shipping. Or I could buy them from China. And I could get a set of 10 pieces, mind you, for $10.29 plus $7 in shipping from China. Dude, this thing's gonna be such a fucking pile. But it'll be my pile. Fair enough. Well, see, here's the thing. It's like building a Glock, but the only real part is the frame. And the magazine isn't real, or the magazine's aftermarket. The barrel's aftermarket. Cheap. Like, all of this is cheap aftermarket. Slides aftermarket. I mean, that's kind of the main three components other than the frame, to be honest. There really isn't a whole lot going on here. Yeah, maybe Glock took a page out of the Spyderco handbook, made the same gun over and over and over again. I mean, they all look like Legos to me. Alright, we've been streaming for 3 hours. It's almost 3 a.m. I have things that I want to do tomorrow, unfortunately. Look, if I sell one of my Spydercos, I'll build this. If that Para 2 sells, I will build that. From Glick. Yeah, they stole the idea from Glick. When did the Glock 17 come out? 82. When did Spyderco start? 78. Spyderco started with the Sharp maker. That's how their company started? Well, shit, I didn't know that. They have 84 employees. Damn. Ziggy, what's up? How's it going? No, I completely understand not enjoying the blade shape. Ziggy, were you interested in anything that I had, or I thought you might have been interested in something. I don't remember. I don't remember much of anything, to be honest. Very possible. Oh, yeah. Freaking customs. Gotta ruin everything. Can't just let me ship anything. I'll see what I can scrounge around. See, the problem is I don't want to send it to you without getting anything. You know? Tell you what, let's come up with an idea here. I don't want to sell this thing to you, okay? It's not worth a whole lot. It really isn't. But I want a deposit on it until it's shipped back, is the thing. And it's a good knife. It's not the most comfortable. They kind of fucked this up right here with that spot right there. Other than that, it's literally just a cheaper version of the Delica. Sure. Let me see how much they go for. BYRD Meadowlark 2 in stainless. That thing is $57 brand new. Or so then there's the other question. 120? That's a horrible idea. I was just thinking enough to replace it. The problem is with this one that it's already broken in. It's really smooth and it's like drop shut smooth. I have no clue how many years it took to get it like that. And if we did 120, then you wouldn't be able to buy the Praxis anyway, so don't be playing games. We'll come up with an actual deal. It's cheap. Again, this brand new is $57 on the Spyderco website. On Blade HQ, it is $42.53. It's 8CR. Honestly, you'd almost be better off just buying one instead of wasting like $12 in shipping. Well, yeah, they're made in China. They're made in the same factory as the Spydercos. Like the Tenacious and that were made in the same factory. It is a cheap knife. That was the whole point. And the only reason I'm okay with letting that one possibly go is because the thing's already trashed. It's a user. I don't feel terrible. Alright, well, we'll get something figured out. Because I don't want you talking shit about Spyderco for no reason, you know? You've got to have a reason before you start talking shit about a company that makes $10 million a year. Or was that total revenue? So yeah, probably about $10 million a year. This place says that they estimate they make $20 million a year. Oh, the Tenacious. Well, this one's already called for. I'll see if I can get another one, but it is a great knife. It really is. Yep, somebody already called that one yesterday, I believe. And plus, it's brand new. I wouldn't want to ship it out to somebody who wasn't sure. Randall's wanted it. I need to start putting prices next to everything. Because I think Randall's and I agreed this one was $40 plus shipping. So the mini Praxis is $37. The Lil Native, $95. That one's already sold. $95. I'll need to talk to Randall's about what we agreed with. That one's sold or called for, but this thing's more expensive than that one. This one's called for at $95. It is a Lil Native. Lil Native. Nope. He already called it, so another YouTuber already called it, so anyway, I've been going for a little longer than I wanted to. We'll come up with something that'll work out. Because I want you to at least try out a Spyderco before you continue talking shit about them. I think they're worth it because they're comfortable. I completely agree that they're ugly and they all look the same. But you need to try things before you start talking shit about them, if you ask me. Well, yeah, even if you continue talking shit, at least you tried them. Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. I got to work on getting some other stuff shipped out. Namely, this. It needs fixed. And they told me that they'd fix it, and then I never sent it in. And I regret not sending it in. Yeah. Well, the one you saw was a crappy little knockoff. So, the Dollar Co. Dolica. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, night, morning, whatever it is. And I'll be streaming later today. Probably about 11 Mountain Time. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Have a great night. Later, Brando.